Thanks for coming along. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes where we are this time out, Blue Jacket, down near Nats Park, home of the restaurant Arsenal. Open, thriving. You can hear the customers probably in the background. Also, the group includes, of course, Church Key and Birch and Barley in the district. Greg, it is always good to see you.
See you too.
What do we have on tap this week?
So for this week, we have a beer called Midnight Brett, and it is from Allagash Brewing Company out of Portland, Maine. This is a beer that has been brewed. This is actually only the second release of this beer ever. The first release was keg only. Okay. And so they've got this new program of these beautiful corked and caged 375 milliliter, like half wine bottle sized bottle releases that they're doing. They did it the first time with FV13, which we talked about on this show. We talked about, I think we talked about Marvelo as well. And this is the third one they've done is Midnight Brett. It was released at the brewery on Black Friday, so right after Thanksgiving, makes sense for that. And then now we're just seeing it coming in to markets outside of the brewery in Maine. It is a stunning beer that I guess we'll taste and then we can talk a little bit about it.
Color matches the Black Friday too.
Yeah. But I think the taste will surprise you.
Very. There's that Brett right up in the nose. Boy, that's different from the Brettanomyces beers I think I've tried before.
Yeah, that's what they were going for. So the first thing you notice when you look at this, and it's all, but we taste with our eyes so much, but you're looking at this, it's called Midnight Brett. It's dark in color, it's like dark brown. You're thinking sour stout or something like that, funky stout. It's not that. The color is indicative of roasted flavors, but you don't get that bitter astringency, and they achieve this by utilizing a really hot malt right now, which is called Midnight Wheat. It's wheat malt that is cooked at high temperatures, but what it does is it gives you this essence of kind of cocoa and coffee without that roasted intensity, which is great because sometimes I find that funky, mildly acidic flavors can clash with a roasted bitterness. And then to your point about the Brettanomyces, this is the 100% fermented with a proprietary strain of Brettanomyces that Allagash employs. And this strain is much more about the fruit-forward qualities here. You get that dark raspberry, cherry, cola quality without nearly as much of the kind of funky horse blanket, leathery barnyard characteristics. So a deliberate employment of a proprietary Brett strain that's almost like Bruxellensis with its pie cherry quality without as much of the funk that accompanies. And really, it's, Jason Perkins, who's the brewmaster at Allagash, remarked that this beer is it's very much like Cabernet Sauvignon, and it is, with that dark fruit and the hint of kind of chocolatey notes as well.
I think if all you've ever had in the way of beer is the yellow fizzy macro beers, then this could be a shock to your system. But if you're, again, we've talked about this a lot over the years. If you're just wanting to get introduced to Brettanomyces style beers, this would be a great introduction, wouldn't it? I mean, it just sort of like, makes me want to try more. But.
And the thing about this is also, it is 100% Brett fermentation, but also doesn't see any oak. So this is just stainless steel fermentation and maturation. And each batch of this takes about 6 months to produce, which is nowhere as near as long as it takes to produce like a Cabernet, for instance. But in beer terms, that's a long time. I mean, we have a triple that we brewed way back in July of last year that we spiked with 3 different strains of Brettanomyces here at Blue Jacket, and that's still not ready. Wow. So it's like, these things take time, but you're rewarded with the time for sure.
Boy, this must go with a lot of good stuff. Yeah, what would you pair it with?
Well, the cool thing about it too, I think what I didn't mention is like it's only about 7.2% alcohol. Typically, you think of a beer like this, you think it's gonna be 10 or 12%, like really big, but it's right there too, and there's no boozy notes to it. It's matured properly, but yeah, you name it. It's got that dark fruit quality. It's Cabernet, so you think of bigger meats, from lamb chops to squab and duck and big, rich, thick steaks and meat type things. But I mean, this could also go with a fresh salad of endive or even like arugula and stuff, because it's bringing in the kind of the fruit and the peppery note. I can see doing this with fish of all kind, like even just like really nice like grilled salmon, tuna, anything like that. But it could also go with really intense oily fish like mackerel and stuff.
All right, now I am thoroughly hungry. Very versatile, definitely.
Yeah.
Greg, we appreciate your time as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another Beer of the Week.